What is up, recruits? Listen up. So, yeah, I've been gone for a while, and yeah, I've been pretty busy, as you can see in the background here. So today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a little catch-up time. Little catch-up time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you a few things that I've built here. Well, by a few things, I mean everything. I'm gonna show you everything that I've built in this world. World Tour Day, baby! Oh, yeah! Alright now, listen up, recruits. Today, I'm gonna learn you some Minecraft. Anyways, so before I update to 1.17, yes, I wanted to give a bit of a world tour on this very special 10th episode. There's much of this world that I haven't filmed yet, even though I've worked really hard on it. So today we're going to visit everything that we can, everything possible, at least everything that I remember to include, that is. I might have to split this up into multiple videos. I can't tell yet. Can't have y'all getting bored and lowering my retention rates. Even worse than they already are. Anyways, yeah, let's start at the very beginning. Also, a quick reminder, instead of staying in survival mode this entire time, I'm going to be going into spectator mode. Keep in mind, I do not play the game in spectator or creative, that is. I'm simply putting it in spectator mode so it'll be easier to move around and see all the inner workings of all the redstone and behind the scenes type of stuff. So, let's get to it. Now, we're going to start where I started the world itself. As soon as I spawned, excuse me chickens, you're loud. As soon as I spawned in this world, I spawned about like right here. This is the spawn for the world itself, so if you die without a bed, this is where you'll end up. Basically for this world, I kind of went off on a mission and just wanted to make this as accessible as possible, so if anybody were to enter the world, they would immediately know what there is, where to go, what to do, and find whatever they wanted to. So I started off with this, and this was built later in the game. You can read it at your leisure, but it's basically just a map, and it tells us if we're ever lost, just find a lectern and start reading. This is the book showing everything that we have here in Spawnville. Alright. I'm gonna change to spectator real quick. Go spectator mode. Get out of here. So loud. You're ruining my world tour. Okay, better. First we start out with the fishing hut. So the fishing hut is the very first thing that I built in this world. It was my starter base, if you will. Nothing too complex going on. The key feature of this is there's some redstone underneath that allows me to open both doors even if I'm on only one pressure plate, which is whatever, pointless you might say, but it actually has come in handy a lot because I still use this house every day that I'm on. It's become part of the path where I just walk through, and having the double doors there that open, even going over one pressure plate, makes it very useful. So, moving on, from the fishing hut, I built this chicken farm, or this egg farm rather. Plenty of eggs, as you can see. If you haven't built one, it's very simple. Just 2 chickens, or 1 even, on top of a hopper, and that's all you need. And the reason why I built that, obviously, was so I could build this chicken farm. Now, if you can still hear me... Okay. So, the chicken farm is pretty cool. You might have seen it in other people's videos and whatnot. It's not my idea. I'm not sure who's the first one that made it. It's kind of a staple of the Minecraft world. What it is basically is just chickens are up there. Their eggs that they poop out go into hoppers behind here. The hoppers lead into this dispenser, spit out the egg, and the babies grow right there. When they grow into adults, their heads will enter the lava, killing them, and their drops will go in here. And as you can see, it's pretty efficient. That's the chicken farm. I started to build, obviously, this nether portal. I built that pretty early on. And then this house and this farmhouse over here. Now, this house was my step up from the fishing hut starter base to this adept space. I don't know. Beginner space, adept space, I guess. So I built this starter base pretty early on, and I built it with the intention of having Elytra, just so I could fly in here really quick and cool, like go to bed and then fly out, and it has come in handy a lot. There's been so many times where I've been running from phantoms or anything and need a place to sleep, and I'll just fly in here because it's convenient. I'll be literally over across the map, like over there, and choose to fly over here just because I can quickly come in with the Elytra and then hop into bed. So pretty good deal, pretty good deal. Moving inside now, other than just the upstairs. For the longest time, I kept all of my rockets and ender pearls here. That is not the case anymore. Otherwise, now it's just this area is pretty much just aesthetic. We got desk, another desk, some storage. We got the second floor with a bed up here and a dresser. And then moving down into the basement. Now this is where a lot of stuff happened early game. This was my first enchanting area. So this enchanter got me started with a lot of what I have now. Probably all the tools and whatnot are gone, but it led us to where we are, okay? And got the brewing stands and everything. So this was my workshop in the basement here, and it even has a back door coming out the side. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, these buildings up here I built pretty late, just wanting to fill in the area, add stuff, getting bored, you know, just wanting to do decorative stuff. So I actually really like this build just because it was one of my first diagonal builds. I didn't build diagonally very often, but when you do, it just makes the build that much more interesting. You get a lot more angles and whatnot, and it just looks harder even though it's pretty much the same as building straight up. Nothing too fancy here, so we'll move on. This was my response to Season 7 of Hermitcraft. If you watch, Mumbo and Korean had hobbit holes. So this is my little hobbit hole. Again, nothing too fancy, just a little one-bedroom room, studio room with a closet, you know, gotta have shirts and whatnot. Again, nothing fancy, just something, just a fun little project. Alright, so moving on from that stuff, we have this area, which is obviously the farmhouse area. This has been a very integral part of my world, just because this was my original storage system. Without this thing, I would not have been able to get as far as I've gotten with the cathedral and everything in this world. In here, first off, we have a little horsey pen, and as I've said in, I think like the last half episode, it was like an update that I had, I explained how I don't have many horses in this world. I have 2 horses only, and they're over at this new area that I just built, and that's the only reason why I even got horses. Before that, I had so many skeleton horses, like I didn't even need horses. Skeleton horses just appeared everywhere because I have a very bad habit of not sleeping when I should. And it kind of plays into Mojang's like whole thing where the longer you don't sleep, the more you go insane. I don't know. But anyways, I got a bunch of skeleton horses. Moving inside, it's very, very warm, very, very cozy. Now, this was my first big redstone project. Before building this thing, I don't think I built with redstone other than like basic piston doors and like quick little gadgets that weren't that complex. To me, this was like rocket science, okay? This is a multi-item storage system, meaning that you can fit multiple items in these chests, and as long as each slot is filled, all items will distribute themselves accordingly. So if I were to put stone in here, all of the stone would end up back in this slot eventually. This was my beginner storage system, and I don't really use it that much anymore. I do sometimes, but most of the stuff I put into the cathedral, which we will show later. See, there goes working, doing its magic redstone stuff that us mortals don't really understand. We should be able to see some coming in now. Yep, there it is. It's all back. It was at 19. So that's cool. Now, moving on, we got these cats that are really annoying, but I collected anyways, because why not? Storage. This is just some furnaces, blast furnace and regular furnace. This is a very easy and good way to cook your foods instead of just having a furnace on the floor. These are double furnaces. So you have your input in the top, your fuel on the side, and your output on the bottom. And just hoppers leading through it. These hoppers go into the furnace, and then leading from the furnace into a chest. These are very, very useful if you don't have them in your world. I super recommend building one. Now, this thing is a bit more complex than that. This is a micro wheat, potato, and carrot farm. And beetroot, I guess, but I don't really use beetroot. So what it does is you can turn this on, turn that on, and turn this on. Grab some seeds. Alright, switch to survival there for a second. And now, if you can still hear me, you just take it and you do this. And you just hold it. And it does it automatically. And it's beautiful. It helps me collect wheat and whatnot, carrots and stuff, and it helped me get the farm started for everything else. So, very useful little contraption. As far as the redstone goes, it is a little more advanced redstone, because if you don't know what's going on, this lever turns on a piston, and that just creates a cycle that pulls the block and breaks the wheat, and this turns on the dispensers. So that's really all there is to it, and everything else is just about collecting it down here. And then I have this that takes half of it and puts it into storage, and the rest pops out so I can keep farming. Or should I say, keep micro farming. Okay, I know, not funny. Oh yay, we have annoying wandering trader. Although I will say the wandering traders are a bit more useful in this world than in other worlds, because in my world I use the mod provided by Vanilla Tweaks and the guys from, you know, like the Hermitcraft server and whatnot. So same deal. So I got the Hermitcraft servers like heads and all the micro blocks. So these guys are actually pretty useful. I'm kind of obsessed about collecting all of these recently, but I kind of stopped doing that just because I have so much. I had to dedicate an entire facility to the micro blocks that these guys sell, which is right over here. I'll go ahead and show you that real quick. So we have this. I basically wanted to make this a saloon, and this area is why we don't keep rockets and ender pearls over there, because these machines right here will distribute rockets and of course ender pearls. You could just simply go into a chest, but you know, where's the fun in that? So I built these machines to do that for me. Now moving up the steps, we got a hobo cub fan right here, you know, because it's a saloon. So what can you do? What can you do? But this is where I keep all of my micro blocks. I got Mumbo the bartender and all of the wanted posters. As you can see, I have a ton of them. I should really build with them more, but it's kind of hard to build them because they don't stack, and they're mainly just like accessory pieces, and the heads are very good for decoration, as you can see. Yeah, that's what this area is. Move on up. Get on out of here. Okay, so back to the guided tour. Moving back over towards the farmhouse. From the farmhouse, I built everything that you see around you, obviously. The farmhouse was kind of the bedrock of this world. I built this sheep farm, which is very useful. A little dinnerbone sheep, upside down sheep. Is that right? Dinnerbone? Yeah. Little dinnerbone sheep, and they produce plenty of wool. If you go through the farm and into the interworkings of the... Oop, back to spectator. Okay. So if you go down through here, as you can see, there's a lot of redstone going on with this machine. So I went ahead and used that as a way to access the wool. So if you come through here, obviously the carpet tells us which chests have which wool. Red there, orange there, you get the picture. And we have plenty of it. The top ones are filled because I had them first, and then I built everything that you see after the top one's filled, because I wanted more storage. So I really actually like this area. It's kind of just like cozy down here. Very simple, very Minecraft basics. So now, ooh, you know, I've never actually looked at the world from spectator mode, like inside. Quite impressive. There's my slime farm Down here is my vine farm. Very impressive. Very cool. Very cool. There's a lot more areas that I haven't discovered than I thought there were. Like, look at all of that darkness. Wow. Wow. It's a lot. Here I thought I had everything covered. There's like a place like right down here. It's cool. It's cool. I like this. Never seen my world like this before. Alright. Moving on from the underground. Yes, we have the wool farm. And then we have Ronnie the Ravager right here that I captured and put inside of a cage connected to a crane, because the crane is how Ronnie the Ravager gets moved, I guess. And for this, I kind of want to give it some character, like the weight of the cage and Ronnie made the ground beneath it kind of imprinted a little crater, so that's why it's like down in the ground like that. This was actually very hard to do, because when I did this, I did not think to put Ronnie in a minecart or trap him in a minecart. So what I did was I built the cage around it, started a raid, and just ran through the cage, like trapped Ronnie in the cage and placed the iron bars around him. I died a couple times. I'm pretty sure I lost a few items, but totally worth it to have a pet Ravager just trapped here. So cool. I love that thing. So as you can see, my priorities were a little odd at the very beginning of this world because I built this pretty early on. Additionally, we have the little fox pen right here. Very adorable. Yeah, it is what it is, and I like it. Additionally, over here, obviously, we have the original OG farm. The basic pins that I built day one of Minecraft, and then the fields that got me started very early on. So these are pretty important fields, and I usually have them perfectly kept, but as you can see, not today. Not today. From there, we have our enchanting area. For this area, I just wanted to make it kind of like a nomadic area, almost like the Wandering Traders little campsite that they've created just for temporary purposes. So we have the little tent right here just for decoration, and the big tent. The big tent, as you can see, has all of the enchantments in the game that I would need, and here I just sort them out accordingly. Not much to it. Yep, that's pretty much it. Just a place to keep books. But in the back here, we also have my rabbit farm as well. It's young. Poor little guys trapped in there. Got a decent bit of rabbit stuffs. And then we also have the basalt generator. This isn't a very complex generator. It's probably the most basic one that you can do. So for it, all it is really is just basalt right here, and you start breaking it. I did have a beacon above me to make it go faster, but I had to switch that out. Yeah, I only have a certain amount of beacons. I have yet to make a wither skeleton farm. Stay tuned for the coming season, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna go with season. This feels like the end of an era, the end of the pre-World Tour era. Yeah, let's go with that. So yes, here you just break this and yeah, collects down here. Super simple. Super simple stuff. Super simple stuff. In this backup of my world. Alright, let's check out Roxy's house. Roxy is my niece. She loves to play Minecraft. Not quite as much as I do, unfortunately. But she does love to play, and so together we built this little basic house right here. So this is Roxy's house. Not much to it. It's just mainly for decorative purposes. But it is pretty. Got a little kitchen, got a little living room, got a bedroom. And she started to build what I think she was going to make into a dungeon. She started placing these flagstone blocks. I was like, what you doing there, girl? And but then she stopped. Got bored, I guess, moved on to other things, probably Roblox or whatever the kids are playing nowadays. So oh yes, I forgot about this. I kind of like made a backstory for the area. So the fishing hut was the first structure built in Hunkala, which is the name of this world. The farmhouse is the home to the mayor of Spawnville and his extensive farmery. Roxy's house, of course. We have the barn with the multi-item storage. Oh, yeah. I forgot to show you the second story of the farm. Moving upstairs, you already heard. These were my very first villagers. These guys we go way back, me and these guys. Yeah. And then this is the mean librarian who has a pet chicken, apparently. So that's cool. She's kind of rude, but what can you do? So that's the barn. We got the micro farm, multi-item storage, villagers up top, double furnaces, and then we also have the rabbit farm out back, wolf farm right here, basalt farm right there, weird looking mushroom, book storage, armor and weapons storage, that is, boxes, Ronnie. Moving on to the thing that you've probably noticed this entire time, but I haven't mentioned because that's just how I like to roll, is the balloon. Now, we'll start down here on the ground. Obviously, the balloon is a balloon, and you already see there is a sugarcane farm up there. We have the admittance right here. There used to be a guy in there. I think he died. Yeah, this is the viewing area, the little celebration that they had as the balloon takes off, the revolutionary new technology, I guess. This was heavily inspired by Around the World in 80 Days. So that's the theme that I was going with here, just people celebrating the balloon taking off, everybody's cheering and hopping up and down and whatnot. I really like how this area came out. I kind of didn't know what I was doing when I started building it, but it really came along, especially with the figures, with the characters here. Again, this is a mod provided by Vanilla Tweaks, as I stated recently. If you want to do this same kind of stuff with these armor stands, just go over to Vanilla Tweaks and download the armor stand mod, and it's pretty, or the armor stand data pack rather. So it's pretty cool. So moving on to the balloon itself. First off, I just want to say it took a very long time to build this thing. A lot of effort, a lot of just back and forth went into this because I am a bit of perfectionist, and there are some variations in the balloon, but I just deemed that part of the wind blowing it, or whatever you want to call it. But as a whole, it turned out really good. I had never built something this shapely before, this round, and not even just round in that circle sense, but three-dimensionally round. It came along really nicely, and it's probably still one of the things that I'm most impressed with in this world that I've built. And I love the fact that I did the bottom part of the basket diagonal, just because, as I was saying before with this house, it adds just that much more detail to it. Just having it diagonal makes it more interesting, in my opinion. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Moving into the balloon itself. Oh, perfect timing. It is a creeper farm, as you saw. Spiders come too, obviously, because not much avoiding that. Yeah, this area just pushes the creepers and spiders down, makes them fall into the fire. Same with the paper. What the heck? I'll make sure to solve that when I get back to the real world. That's a problem. That stops rates. I mean, I don't really use this farm anymore because I have a witch farm for gunpowder and a much bigger paper farm in there. So this is pretty much obsolete, but it's still very cool, and I still liked the design that I made, just combining the two farms, so basically to make a rocket factory. And that's also why I wanted it to be a balloon, because like rockets traveling, you use a balloon to travel, so yeah, it goes kind of hand in hand if you think about it. So all that goes in there, and store all the rockets in here and whatnot. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, moving on from that. Oh, let me explain this. I probably should have explained this pretty early on. Again, a very integral part of this world, a very important factor that I started with. You may have already guessed what this is. It's an iron farm. An iron farm, yes, an iron golem farm. So if you don't know, what happens here is this wall goes up and down, causing these villagers to be repeatedly scared by this zombie right here. And when that happens, an iron golem has nowhere to spawn except for right here. So as you can see, they spawn there, fall down here, and get killed by the lava eventually. There we go. And then the drops end up down here. And as you can see, it's very efficient, especially considering it's just one unit. And I will say it is efficient also because this is built in the spawn chunks. So no matter where I am in the world, as long as the game is playing, this is running. Also, this is just a simple bone meal converter, nothing too fancy. This is one of my favorite builds still to this day, just because I love what I did with the trapdoors and just this kind of weird but revolutionary style of building. I don't even know what you would call this, but I really like it. And usually when people come into my world, this is the build that they're really interested with for some reason. People always seem to gravitate towards this iron farm and want to know what it is. Even after I built that, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, but what's the deal with this? So I must have done something right here. I don't know. Moving on from the iron farm. Here we have, hello kitty. Here we have a little cactus farm. It's not very efficient. This used to be a 0-tick cactus farm, but now we don't have 0-tick anymore as of 1.16. So after 1.16, I took out all the 0-tick stuff. That, and that used to be 0-tick as well. I think I didn't make any, I didn't make any changes. Back in the old days of Minecraft, not too long ago, this is how you cheated the game into giving you tons of like sugarcane and bamboo and cactus. Now you gotta wait the old-fashioned way. And this over here used to be a 0-tick bamboo farm to power the furnace in here. There's some fancy stuff, but unfortunately it does not work anymore. Boo-hoo for that, but still looks pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. These were early days where I was just struggling for scraps and just building whatever I could. We have my dog Thor's doghouse right here. Little baby Thor's. And the almighty Thor. So moving on from the doghouse and the cactus farm, we have the first pumpkin and melon farm. We have probably one of the most important things in this area that I still use very, very frequently, the super smelter. This is a 32 furnace super smelter. Fuel goes in here. Input goes in here. Output comes here. I will show you how fast it is. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you don't know about the hopper minecart under the chest trick, you should really check that out, because it does this. Makes it go super fast. And then the minecart goes out, feeds all the furnaces, and then from the furnaces, all of the glass starts appearing in here. If you give it a second. Here it comes. We had some popped chorus fruit from before, but as you can see, it's pretty freaking fast. Basically comes in as fast as the hoppers and the droppers are willing to let it. As far as the redstone goes, it's really not that complicated. We have, this part is a little complicated, but all it really is just a hopper minecart underneath the chest that sucks the items out. When that's filled to a certain amount, this comparator setup senses how much is in this hopper. When this hopper minecart has 64 items in it, like this does, this comparator senses that and sends a signal to here, which ends up letting the minecart go. Other than that, everything is pretty simple. All of this is just a hopper line to fuel the furnaces of blaze rods and whatever fuel that I can give it. And the hopper minecart itself just goes around this track and then back up to where it started. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Very simple, very efficient. I highly recommend building that. If this is a little too complicated for you, or you don't have the resources for it yet, again, build the double furnace that I showed you in the barn. So that's kind of like stepping stones to get to here. From the furnace, we have the slime farm. Now, this is not the slime farm itself. This is the slime storage. To get to the slime farm, you have to go... Where do you have to go? It's been a while. There! You have to go right here. This is the slime maintenance hatch. So, going down here, you plop down there, drop into the water, come through here. And I built this very early on when... Guys, listen. Y'all. Look at my floating head. I did not have efficiency 5 or a beacon when I built this. I didn't have either. And I still did it. So if I can do this, you can. Alright? This is the biggest slime farm that I could possibly make. It's 2 slime chunks next to each other. And then it goes from Y, I believe, what is it? 17 to Y40. Because that's the area that that slimes are allowed to spawn. So what happens is slimes will spawn right here, and they'll see the iron golems hop over. The big ones, the iron golems will break apart, and then they will fall to their deaths down here. The magma will kill the little baby slimes to completion. That came out weird. And then these hopper mine carts will collect the slime through the magma, and then obviously put them in the hoppers. The hoppers go through here, goes through this water column all the way up, and as you can see, it goes up quite a while. It's up right there so I can see it. I wanted to make sure that was a feature. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when this is functioning. It's not functioning right now because I'm in spectator. All right, so it's not doing. Oh, there we go. Yep, here it comes. Boom. So as you can see, it's pretty efficient. I was only in survival mode there for less than a minute, and that just popped through. Very efficient slime farm. This is, like I said, just a slime storage. I was dabbling with some basic redstone here. I was very proud of myself when I built this. Yeah, step back. Alright, we have the slime storage right here. And when this fills up, we have, again, comparator setup back here, that when this fills up, it'll send a signal to these lights. And these lights will turn on telling me, hey, your slime is ready to be made into slime blocks. Now, the slime blocks, yeah, that's right, more redstone. What's up? Yeah, the slime blocks we put under here. So we have plenty. I made this at the beginning of the game, and I have yet to desire slime blocks. Good deal. Very good deal. Okay. Moving on from the slime farm, we have my very first villager breeder. Now, these villagers were hard to get because... Or sorry, no, those villagers were hard to get. Because what I did was I really wanted an iron farm very early on. And the nearest village was like way in that direction, like a couple thousand blocks. And I could not find anything closer, and I did not want to travel through the nether with these villagers because it was early on and I didn't have very good gear, and I was terrified of the nether. So I had to lug these guys through the rivers, creating passageways and canals and tunnels through all of this stuff. And yeah, it was just a very complex way of getting these guys here, and got their babies into here. From there, I built this villager breeder, and all this is, if you don't know, this guy just collects crops, makes some bread, and then takes the bread, feeds it to these guys, and then these guys do their deed and have babies that end up down here and running all over the place because they insta cram and end up popping out. So, but it works very well, as you can see. So that's the villager breeder. And behind the villager breeder is just a little tiny house. There's not much to it. Oh yeah, there's this. I forgot about this. Pardon me. The little hobbit hole here. I can't believe that even I forgot about this. It has like an emergency hatch where if you go in, yeah, that's a door. And oh, you can take that. My bad, guy. So yeah, go through here, and it's an extra exit, a little hidden exit. I forgot that I made this. That leads right here. Yeah. And then from there, that will go up to this little house right here. Isn't it crazy how you like build stuff in Minecraft and then just completely forget about it, and then you come back to it and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I spend so much time on this? Yeah, all the time. Same. So this is just another little house that I built. I like to get creative and build these little tool racks and whatnot. And I really like this one just because it's very cozy, and when you come out, you have such a nice view of the world. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. Yes, yes. Ow. Survival mode. Or spectator mode. There we go. Okay, cool. Back in business. Alright, what have I not shown you? Let's see. Oh, that's why I said the iron farm was. Iron Gates Apartments. It's an apartment building. Okay? Alright. Let's just be clear on that. Very small one, but yeah. Melon Pumpkin House. Yeah, ... but also a bone meal. Wow. We have a cocoa bean tree. Tick farms that don't work anymore. Closed as of 1.16. Thor's Doghouse, covered that. Slime Stop. Yes, slime and hidden storage. Got the villager breeder. The longhouse, which is the super smelter. Villager wheat farm. Ah, yes. So from the villager breeder, I took some villagers and took a villager and put him over here. So this is just a basic wheat farm. And what you need to do to make this happen is make the farm itself. And then, but the key is you have to get a villager and then fill his inventory with seeds. If you don't fill his inventory with seeds, he'll pick up all of the wheat and make it into bread, feeding himself. And then he'll get bored and only pick up wheat whenever he's hungry. So you need him hungry all the time and not able to pick up that bread. So fill his inventory with 8 stacks of seeds. Yeah, 8 stacks of seeds. And he'll go around planting and whatnot and getting you wheat. So it works out rather well. I mean, it's not the most efficient farm. If you really want to crank out some wheat, you're going to have to build multiple of these or stack them or whatever. And then just to make it a little bit more efficient and to, you know, add a hat on a hat, added some beehives with some redstone to collect the honeycomb. Because it gives me honeycomb and they pollinate themselves off of that sunflower right there. But also when they pollinate themselves, they will help the crops around them grow right here. So yeah, fun fact. Pretty interesting. Another very key part of this area that I spent a lot of time on that you may not immediately notice is the riverbeds. As you can see, there's a large difference between the riverbeds here and the riverbeds over there. And there. Yeah, I cleared out all of the sand and the clay in these riverbeds just because I thought, or at least I thought I did, some of them, most of it. Missed a few spots there and there, but yeah, cleared out most of the sand and clay in this area just because I didn't like how the patchiness looked. And I still plan on doing like this area and that area over there. I just, you know, burnt out. It takes a lot of time and effort, honestly. It's kind of draining. But it was totally worth it in my opinion. It makes this area look much, much better. When I look at this, I'm like, ew, that nasty. That's gross. I mean, it kind of matches this area just because this is more swampy. But I still think it's gross. I like just the dirt. It's much better. And then you can just add in patches of sand where you want it, like right here. So yeah, that's a small thing, but rather important. Nice. Yeah, gotta watch them spiders die. Did I miss anything? Enchanted tent. The basalt quarry. Yes, covered that. Ah, the mine. Yes, of course. I cannot. Oh, and the zombie spawner. We'll start with the zombie spawner. Yeah, I built this zombie spawner, and I didn't even need the XP. I was honestly really disappointed by it, because when I started building it, I didn't know that... Here it is. Yeah, it doesn't even have, like, real entrance or anything. I didn't know that zombie spawners won't give you tridents, which really made me sad. Like, I still... Guys, I've been in the same world for almost 3 years. No. It's been like 2.5 years. So yeah, almost 3 years, and I still don't have a trident. I still don't have a trident. Granted, I haven't put much effort into looking for one, but I just thought that it would have happened by now. Just fighting drowned. I fought a lot of drowned. Okay, let's see. I've killed 276 drowned. Never been killed by drowned, but I still have not found a trident. 276 drowned and no trident. That's ridiculous. Come on, guys. But yeah, just a basic little zombie spawner here. I did go all out kind of decorating it, though, just because I have fun with these spawners, decorating them. But as you can see, the zombies kind of drop down and they go through a tunnel system and they end up right here. And I did have a thing where the like piston would close and then the water would drown them and everything and turn them into drowned, but that doesn't do very much. So I kind of scrapped this area, and now it is just a zombie spawner. But that's okay. That's all it needs to be. Oops. Forgot we're in creative. There we go. Alright, and then down here, obviously this area needs to be dark, but down here I made it a little lighter, a little bit more cheery with the TV and some plants. Can you guys be quiet up there? Oh my gosh, it's so loud. If I ever needed to trade with some clerics or whatnot, I got plenty of zombie flesh, so that's good, I guess. Oh my god, you guys are so loud and annoying. Leave me alone. So that's a zombie spawner. And then we have probably the most important area here in Minecraft, the mine. My very first mine. So from the mine, it's very hidden, which is why I forgot about it and I haven't been down there for a while. But after I built this little fishing hut right here, I immediately went down and started digging. And all of this was just trees and grass and ugliness, and it's just kind of weird to think about it like the way it is now versus how it was. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is the entrance to the mine. Yeah, not very fancy, just a random trap door in the ground. In the mine, we had a AFK fish farm that no longer works. The only reason why I built this, oh my god, chickens. So the only reason why I built this was because I was getting back into Minecraft, and I had been playing for a while on the PS4. And then I remembered, hey, you played Minecraft on the computer before, you should do it now, because playing on the PS4 is not very efficient. So I bought the game for the computer, and I bought the Java edition, and it came with the Windows 10 edition as well. Yeah, so I started playing on the Windows 10 edition, and then I saw all these YouTubers and everything doing stuff on Java edition, like holding their torches and their offhand and placing them and their food. You know, all the cool stuff in Java that you can't do in Windows 10 edition. Like being able to place torches while you're mining is just, oh my gosh, it's so worth it. It's so worth the change. Not to mention all of the mods and data packs and just the freedom that you have with Java edition. So because I had done all of the early game stuff already in Windows 10 edition, I was kind of over it. And yeah, so I built a AFK fish farm. Now, you still can build AFK fish farms. They're just much bigger. You have to make like a bigger pool of water because now fish won't spawn in this. But yeah, this thing was pretty awesome. I would sort out all of the good items, and then the items that I didn't want, I would just flip this switch, and they would just go down and be disintegrated in lava. So that's the AFK fish farm. Moving down, we'll go into the actual mine. And as you can see, this is another double furnace. Nothing fancy, just covered it in trapdoors, make it look more natural. This is a small item sorter. This is very, very good to have if you are starting a big mine, like a branch mine, or just, you know, I don't even know what they're called, just the mines where you just get efficiency 5 and a beacon and you just start tearing stuff down. Yeah, those things. This is really good to have because you can just toss everything up in here and it'll sort itself out into these. And the redstone is not all that complex either. You just have, yeah, the items, the sorted items that you want in here. Comparator sense that, sending a signal down here, and the signal, once it gets strong enough, once one stone enters right here, it will send down the signal to this torch, allowing items to enter and exit this hopper. I cannot stress this enough. If you have a large mine and you're struggling with all of the items going back and forth between your main storage and your mine, build one of these bad boys. It seems a little complicated with the redstone. I know how it used to be where you see redstone and you just immediately turned off. Nope, I'm done. I don't want it. That's too complex for me. It's not complex. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out, okay? Trust me. Trust me, okay? Now, moving on to something that is a little more complex and I'm extremely proud of is this vine farm. This is all me, baby. This is all my mechanics, all right? This is me figuring stuff out in Minecraft and making it happen. So what this is, it's a little more of a complex farm. Obviously, you cannot make fully automatic vine farms. So what you have to do is make a semi-automatic one. What you do is take this, go down here. I have a program that allows me to auto-click on certain things. It's especially useful for like spawners where you want to kill zombies over time and stuff like this. You have to use the program, otherwise you're just going to be sitting here clicking the whole time, in which case what's the point of using the farm? So it is a little cheaty by using an auto clicker, but that's okay. So what you need to do is turn on the auto clicker, which you have here as you can see. It's just auto clicking, I'm not doing that. So hop in the water, and what happens is, it's going to happen quickly, I will place the carrot on this sign right here, and then a snowball will come out of this dispenser over here and break the carrot, allowing the carrot to drop in there and go into that chest. So you hop in, placed it, there goes the snowball, get the shears, and then you start farming. And that's pretty much the farm. At different intervals, once the shears get worn out, it will take me to this next unit where it will replace the old shears with new ones, and I'll just keep going along. And I think there's 3 shear replacing stations, if you will. As you see, there is a little bit of lossage as they fall on the sides. I try and like push my character forward to collect those, but sometimes, what can you do? What can you do? And then he moves forward and keeps collecting vines. So as you see, the shears are starting to wear out. So here in a second, I should get to the end of this row, and then I will replace these shears with a new set of shears auto-magically. Just you wait. They're all worn down, and boom. Perfect timing. Very efficient, very useful, especially if you have the program to go with it. If not, get it. I don't know what to say. It's very useful, especially if you do a lot of AFKing. And then, as you can see, all of the vines fell down there, and you have water streams that push them along, and then a canal that pushes them over here. So all of the vines end up right here. Beautiful, beautiful. And also, all of the used shears end up right here. That's so I can take any items I wish out. Say this is a pretty good shear that still has a lot of durability left, but this one not so much. So I'll take that one and click this button, and that turns this slide off and allows the items in here to go through and burn. Very useful. And that makes use of a T flip-flop and a dispenser going into lava. So highly recommend it if you need a lot of mossy cobblestone, that is. As you can see, I used some here to remind myself of the vine farm and the purpose of this area. That vine farm is probably my favorite farm in this entire world. It's just very efficient, and I thought it was very clever use of the snowballs. I did get inspiration from that from, I think it was Impulse. He had something similar in an ice farm, I think. Yeah, pretty cool, very cool. Yes, we covered Spawnville, we covered Traveler's Alley, which is the section over here with the rocket station, the Ender Pearl station, and the saloon. It's supposed to be like travelers come down this way before leaving the area one last time to gather supplies and grab a drink and whatnot. So that's Traveler's Alley. from Spawnville, we have north is Hunkala Village, also known as Magic Village. East to the wilderness. There's not much over there that I've done. South to Chuck's Lumber Mill, right over there. West to the Emerald Cathedral and Dirty Steve's Bayou. Additionally, we have, of course, the Nether Portal, which takes us to the Nether Roof. And in the Nether, we have a Gold Farm, Piglin Trading, Skeleton Spawner, Oglin Trap, Witch Tower, and the Advanced Iron Farm. We also have the End Pyramid, Blaze Farm, and the Squid Farm. And this is an ad for our our takeoff celebration for the Creeper balloon. Meet in Spawnville Circle to send off our brave Creeper locators in their brand new hot air balloon. Food, drinks, and games provided. So yeah, that was the story behind the hot air balloon, is that these are hunters going out to protect this spawn village from creepers, so they can spot out the hordes of mobs from afar and fight creepers and whatnot, and collect their drops to bring back for supplies, I guess. I don't know. I really like to give a purpose to everything in this world and kind of have a story behind everything. I mean, sometimes it's a little harder, just because, you know, some things don't really make sense. Giant Thor statue behind me. Let's just say, like, the mayor of Spawnville had a beloved dog. I don't know. I just like to make stories behind everything that I build here, and it makes it a lot more fun to build, and gives it a purpose and a meaning, and it gives you that bit of motivation to keep going and keep building. That's the point of that. But unfortunately, that is going to have to be all for today. Just today. Because this video is running over, I don't know, about like 20-30 minutes, probably even more than that. So I'm gonna have to cut this down, and in coming episodes we are of course going to tour the cathedral, Chuck's Lumber Mill, Hunkala Village, Dirty Steve's Bayou. There's plenty more to see in this world, not even to mention all of what's in the Nether and the stuff that you have to get to by going through the Nether. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, keep learning. Okay, bye. Bye now. Okay, bye. Please leave. Okay, bye. Bye. Oh, goodbye.